Good morning. My name's Electric Johnny Hat. It's early, so I have to keep my voice down. But I hope you're all well. You are God. Who is God? You are God. But so many things over the years that's been thrown around about what is actually God. Is he something physical? Is he something spiritual? Is he something religious? Is it something non-religious? Is he consciousness? Is God consciousness? If you reverse the word God, it's dog, which is the name of Sirius, the dog star. You have the elites of the world trying to play God because they are trying to confuse you of what God really is. What is your interpretation of God? What do you believe in God is? I think Sonny asked you to do a lot of research over the years, and your mind is thrown backwards and forwards, or your consciousness has been thrown backwards and forwards trying to find out what's really going on. But for years you just get thrown from pillar to post until you actually you feel satisfied that you've done enough research. When there's enough research, who knows, eh? But when you seem to think that you've done enough research and you don't need to, or you're satisfied with what you think's really going on, you know. I've gone way past the shape of the earth because that's never going to be tangibly proven, ever. Will never be tangibly proven. So I believe that, people say about using this word, but believe, but it's the only word I prefer to use because I don't have anything factual. So I believe you are God. Each individual person here is God. This so-called presence of God, which is another major thing that people put out, that there's this God sitting on a throne looking down at us, but I don't think it's that way at all. I think this higher intelligence, should we call it that? This higher intelligence is consciousness. This higher intelligence is consciousness. The powers still try to keep you away from that way of looking at things, of you being God, or this higher presence. Basically, let's say like God or the universe, which is all around us, the external, is being pushed into each individual person. Each part of this consciousness is being put into each individual person to now look through the eyes of God, what they say. But it's put into each individual person's eyes has been pushed as you are God, as you are the walking God, because everything is seen through the perception of your eyes only. So you are God. You are the control to this. You are the control to this reality that we live in. It's like I say, when you go to sleep at night time, you cut off the consciousness completely and go somewhere completely different. So the physical goes away, and then you sleep, you recharge, and then come back again in the morning. You recharge, you wake up again, and then your reality starts again. So God, this higher intelligence, which is for me the consciousness, the ether, is the thing here that's been pushed into each individual person to now make you to be God, the God. This is why I see a lot of black people, religious people that are calling each other God. Hello God, how you doing? They meet each other ain't seen you for a couple of days, I'll meet you again, how you doing? But they refer them as God. How you doing, God? So they're looking at each individual person as God, because you are God. El, Elohim, it's supposed to be on multiples. But the Elohim, or El, has been put out or depicted as many different things. El also is electricity, standing for electricity, which is everything. The sun is electric, the moon is magnetic, they work together. Male and female that are working together. The moon is female, works with the tides of the ocean, works with a woman's menstrual cycle to the day. So the moon is magnetic, the sun is electric, El electric. You know, others will say, we'll go deeper into religious and come up with Elohim as multiples. But for me, Elohim, or El, is just electricity, which is referring to the sun. The sun, the soul, S-U-N, or soul, Ra, which is what all the ancients worshipped anyway, which is the sun. The electricity of giving all power to this life, to this earth, to this reality, to everything. Without the sun there would be nothing. Everything would just die, go dark, whittle away, and just basically die. So you are God. We have been put into this physical body. Our consciousness, or part of the consciousness, has been put into our body to walk around as you are the God. Like when your mother gives birth to you, she gives birth to the new God, to the new universe, because your mother is the portal. She's the only one that could bring you into this life through your mum's portal. It's the only way. So your mum is the God, or the goddess, that gives birth to the new God, which is you. And that goes for every single woman that delivers, or has another baby. She's delivering the new universe, the new God. Because you are God, you are the universe. We have to get away from this person that's sitting on a so-called throne looking down on us, because it seems to have been depicted that way, but in certain texts, in certain parts of the Bible, it can be, or pushed out to be that way. What do you believe God is? Now, the powers try to deny consciousness. They deny the ether, which for me is just the same thing anyway. But they have the money and power, and they seem to be sticking together now to, like the Bill Gates and, the Fauci's and all that. Which I've got to be careful what I'm saying here, really. As I'm on two strikes as it is. But now they are playing God. They are trying to rule you and your consciousness, your separate consciousness, the part of consciousness, that's been put into you. They are trying to control that now, because now they are literally, playing God. The elites, the EL, the multiples are playing God. So now they want to control, and they're taking full control of everybody now, because they are playing God. They think they can play God. But no. Give them a bit of DMT or ayahuasca and they will change their mind completely. You give every politician and mainstream scientist some kind of strong psychedelic like ayahuasca or DMT, and they will change their mind completely, because it will repair them from all the bad stuff that goes on in their head, of them literally believing that they can play God and rule people's lives, take people's lives, give people life and take people's life away as well. So they are literally playing God, but they are not God. Each individual person of them are God. And they know it, but they just want to play God, because they say they have the money, and money is power to do that. But no, you are God. You can only start your own reality every morning. You can decide to get up and start your reality of that day on that morning, or you can just stay in bed and go and sleep even more and cut yourself off from the main reality that you are in. So God will throw down that part of consciousness so you can now work on your day-to-day things during the day. He is giving you the power of being God, because he's now give you that part of consciousness for you to go through your reality, your life of being God, of being the universe. The universe is all around us. I believe in this link of the internal is linked to the external. You are linked to the universe. And this is why they say, ask universe, be careful what you're asking the universe, because you may just get it. Or what you're asking God, for me it's just the same thing. Be careful what you ask for, you may just get it. That's why I believe, obviously, and a lot of us do believe in that the internal is the external, it's the mirror. The consciousness that's all around us in the external world is you. You are connected to that consciousness. You are connected to that God, to that universe, which is basically just a mirror of you. God can only exist through your eyes, because you're the only one that can start this reality in the morning. You're the only one that can finish your reality at the end of the night, when you go to sleep, when you go into dream sleep, which is something completely different. That seems to be the worldwide consciousness that all come together when every single person is now sleeping and recharging their batteries. So each person is cut off from the main reality, and now that consciousness is fed into the main consciousness that everybody's linked together when we dream, when we sleep. And this is why we meet people. We meet people that we know, or in past, they say, even in past lives, you can find through past lives, just through in your dream sleep. But when you wake up in the morning, that God has been put into your eyes, and only your eyes, only your eyes, nobody else's eyes, just your eyes, because you are God. You are the reality. You are this whole universe's reality. We are God, we are universe. The universe, we are God, all sharing the same part of reality through a manifestation for our own eyes. So we all have a part of the main consciousness in us, of God or the universe. You are God. There's no main God out there sitting up there on his throne looking down, sending his electricity down at you. You are God. You've been put into this reality as God. God is reality. You are reality. Consciousness is the main reality, or the reality of the universe that's put into you. They will keep trying to play God, to try and confuse you, to still prey on the weak of the religious. The older people that do they rely on religion because it gives them comfort for when they've lost a loved one, they've lost their partner, or they've lost a son or a daughter for whatever reason. So they play God, and they continue to play God with us now. They still continue to put out these different shapes of the earth for you to believe in, or to confuse you. I believe this, you believe this, you believe this, so we're all arguing. But God's light will always win at the end of the day. God's light will always win. The light inside you will always win. Always. You are God. Thank you very much. But what if God is something else? What if God is not something that we have been shown to be. Maybe God is something else. But what if? The powers, the military industrial complex, they all said that they have found the intelligence. They've already found the intelligence. And they put it down to the alien thing. Yes, we've been chasing these DWs or high-powered drones or whatever they are. We've been tracking them for such a long time. Like the military really talk about what they do. No, they don't. So they just thrown out this ruse. We found it. We found the higher intelligence that's controlling us. Have you now? So then why put it down to aliens? You know, there is people you can follow to get closer to, I believe, what's really going on, and that's good electrical engineers like Eric Dollard. You know, Dan Winter as well. You know, he's just amazing with consciousness. He's amazing with consciousness. To helping to follow these kind of people. You know. But they have found the aliens. They have found it. They have found the higher intelligence. All they have found is consciousness. Consciousness runs from the troposphere up until the exosphere. Like I was saying on the last video. Consciousness lives in this. It's one worldwide consciousness that all lives here. It's everywhere. It's not just where we walk on the firmament, the firm ground we walk on, a part of the troposphere that we are actually on, standing on, laying on, whatever you want to call it. The consciousness goes all the way up to the all the way up to the top. All the way to the exosphere. You think because you get past the troposphere into the stratosphere that the consciousness just stops there? No. Consciousness is alive in the whole of the universe, of the atmosphere. I believe the atmosphere is just the universe, or the universe is just the atmosphere, because it's all a contained system. And I'm not talking about a flat earth. But they have found it. They have found the aliens. They have found the intelligence, which is just basically consciousness that's moving around up there in the forms of light, in the forms of plasma. That's the higher intelligence. That is us. That is our intelligence. The plasma, the light beings, which is basically just plasma, that is in the atmosphere, that dives in and out of the ether, that travels in and out of the ether, that can go in and out of the ether, the consciousness, the plasma beings, the plasma consciousness, the full consciousness is what they have found that a long time ago. But they've always been trying to link it to a physical alien presence, but it's not, is it? It's consciousness. All they found is, it's like the Foo Fighters, you know, the thing that's based on the Foo Fighters. The planes that were, like with Germans, and the Germans that were being chased around by the Foo Fighters. And what were the Foo Fighters? The Foo Fighters were light beings. They were plasma, consciousness that were chasing the Germans. They were the Foo Fighters. That was the consciousness. So all that happens is when the Germans were fighting the enemy, the physical enemy, then they would be interacted with the plasma beings, the plasma consciousness, the intelligence, which is us. The intelligence that is just basically mixed around, obviously, amongst all us physical beings. And the physical plasma the manifestation of plasma that comes in and out of the ether does come all the way down to the troposphere as well. Not very often, but it does. But mainly shoots back up. So when you go to a certain part of the stratosphere, you will see the plasma beings moving around, the plasma orbs moving around, which is the consciousness, it's the intelligence. That's all they found. But like I said, they want to link it to the alien thing. No physical aliens out there, only the consciousness of plasma that can manifest into many different shapes in the atmosphere, which we've seen. If you've done your research, and you could go through all these old videos, and you will see this. Where plasma can ignite itself in and out. 1 minute it's inside the ether on another dimension, and it splits into the ether onto our dimension, and you can see that the light will ignite into this atmosphere. 1 minute you see it, then they fade out. Then they fade out, they fade back in again in multiples. 2, 3, 4s, 5, 6s, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. But that's the consciousness that's moving around in the atmosphere. Doesn't matter how high you go, or if you put it another way, the higher you probably do go, the consciousness is more stronger. You're seeing more things that are being manifested up there. But yet the military-industrial complex, the Navy, the British Navy, the American Navy, whatever, they've all found the higher intelligence. And they're moving around in these fast drones, which are basically just plasma. So that's all they found. So the what if is not really a what if, is it? It's just a higher intelligence of consciousness, or should we say the main consciousness that's all around in the atmosphere, that interacts with us all the time. Whereas back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, where people were fighting up in the air. Aeroplanes going up quite high to the stratosphere, or up in the stratosphere, and they're seeing these orbs. Consciousness. It's just a consciousness of the atmosphere. It's a consciousness of the reality of this earth. How stupid would it be us to think that these things ain't around? Consciousness is, it jumps in and out of us. I carry consciousness, you carry consciousness. But when the body's gone, the consciousness goes back up into light, allegedly, and we can see this, can't we? So the what if isn't really a what if, or is it a what if? You are God. Thank you very much. My name's Electric Johnny Hat. One love as always. I'm getting a bit tired, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you very much. One love.